From the famous Orange Bowl in subtropical Miami, Florida, to a cold, muddy, windswept gridiron in Boston's Fenway Park, to a spanking new Oakland Alameda County Coliseum on the shores of San Francisco Bay, to the exciting atmosphere of Denver's own Bears Stadium on the television sets of fans in every city of the nation. It was an eventful American Football League season for the Denver Broncos in 1966. The Broncos now take pleasure in presenting Denver Bronco highlights of 1966. It's December 19, 1966, one day after the official close of the season for the Broncos, but the most important day of the season in every way. It's official when Bronco President Alan Phipps puts his signature on the document. Lou Saban is the man in charge, the Broncos general manager and head coach for the next 10 seasons. Saban, an All-America at Indiana University and a former Cleveland Browns star, brings an impressive coaching record to the Broncos. He is best known, of course, for building the Buffalo Bills from an also-ran into a championship team. Saban was twice AFL Coach of the Year after Buffalo won league titles in both 1964 and 1965. Saban will begin his Bronco coaching job with the youngest team in professional football. Up to 17 rookies were on the roster every week in 1966. Let's take a look at the season's highlights. Just a month earlier, Houston had handed the Broncos their most humiliating defeat. Ever since, about all the Broncos could think about was to atone for that opening game loss. The result, a super exciting game and a last-second 40-38 victory for the Broncos. Defensive tackle Ray Jacobs leads a stirring goal line stand for the Broncos. Quarterback John McCormick is a brilliant field general when the chips are down. Specialist Gary Croner is a big hero with 4 field goals, his last a final second game winner. The Broncos are leading 3-0 when Jim Norton goes into punt formation for Houston. Abner Haynes gathers in the punt at the Denver 22. Darrell Lester, John Bramlett, and John Homan all throw clearing blocks. Haynes breaks free and races 42 yards to the Houston 36. Norton himself finally stops Abner. The Oilers hold, so Gary Croner steps back to the Houston 31 to kick again. It's his second field goal, and Denver leads 6-0. In the second period, Denver has the ball again. Bob Breitenstein and the rest of the offensive line give John McCormick all the protection he needs. Al Denson is the target far downfield, and the former Florida A&M ace makes a leaping catch for a 51-yard gain deep into Houston territory. Now the Broncos have a third down on the Houston 3. McCormick throws a looping pass over defender Don Floyd. Abner Haynes has it for a touchdown. The Broncos now lead 13-3. The Oilers get the 6 points back a few plays later. Denver 9, George Blanda fires over the middle to Bob McLeod, and it's a touchdown. Now it's Denver 13, Houston 10, and the action is just beginning. Houston's John Wittenborn kicks off. At the goal line, rookie Goldie Sellers gathers it in. Sellers sets sail straight up the middle, gets a little running room, and then breaks clear, using his tremendous speed to go all the way. Sellers' run is the longest in Denver history, but was matched by Nehemiah Wilson a week later in Kansas City. Such unsung heroes as rookies Bob Young and Jerry Inman made the Broncos' special teams tough in 1966. The Broncos now lead 20-10. The action picks up in the third quarter. Houston has the ball on the Denver 27 following a fumble. George Blanda passes to Charlie Frazier in the end zone. It's a second quick touchdown for Houston, and the Oilers lead for the first time, 31-30. But the Broncos go back ahead quickly. Ray Kubala and Lee Burnett give John McCormick plenty of time to throw. Veteran Lionel Taylor has the pass for 12 yards and another first down. McCormick comes right back with another pass. This time, Big Al Denson is open at the Houston 45. Denson simply outruns the defense, and the Broncos have a 64-yard scoring play. Denver leads again, 37-31. It's a point parade all day, but a stirring goal line stand dominates the early fourth quarter play. From the Denver 1, John Henry Johnson hits the Denver middle. Second down, Blanda fumbles the snap. Sid Blanks recovers just a half yard short of the goal. Third down, it's John Henry Johnson again, up in the air and down, still on the 1 yard line. Jacobs and Bramlett again plug up the middle. Fourth down, still a yard to go. Sid Blanks takes his turn, but Goose Gonsolin and Lonnie Wright are in to make the stop. The Broncos take over, and the excited fans and the Bronco bench show their appreciation. Houston leads 38-37 with just 37 seconds to play. From the Houston 47, McCormick passes. For the fifth time in the game, Al Denson is the target. The play gains 9 yards, but the Broncos are short of a first down at the Houston 38. So it's now or never, and Gary Kroner kicks from the Houston 46. The kick is straight, it's long enough, it's good. There are 27 seconds to play. The Broncos go ahead, 40-38. 2 desperation passes fail for Houston, and the Broncos have their big revenge victory. First of the season for the Denver team. The crowd roars its approval as the happy Broncos leave the field. The Broncos weren't given much of a chance to upset the Chargers in San Diego, but consistent with their tradition of always playing well against the Chargers, the Broncos start their late-season resurgence with an exciting near miss. Bob Scarpetto gives the Chargers fits with his long runs from punt formation. Lionel Taylor, the AFL's all-time pass-catching leader, has a fine game. Max Lietzo has a fumble recovery and leads the improved Bronco defense. Early in the first period, San Diego's Gene Foster fumbles at the Chargers' 40. Max Lietzo pounces on the ball for the Broncos. Ray Kubala and John Gonzaga provide the protection, and rookie quarterback Max Shaboyan passes from the San Diego 24. Fullback Darrell Lester is stopped at the Chargers' 3-yard line, but it's a 21-yard play for the Broncos. Now it's Jerry Sturm and Charlie Mitchell clearing the way as Max Shaboyan rolls around left end for the final 3 yards. Kroner converts, and the Broncos lead 7-0. Now watch this play closely. Bob Scarpetto decides to run from punt formation and heads around right end. Watch number 76 of the Chargers, Terry Owens, take one look, then a double take. As Scarpetto speeds down the sideline, protected by the wall of blockers the Chargers themselves have set up. It's a 63-yard touchdown run, Scarpetto's longest ever. Broncos go back into the lead, 14-7. Scarpetto is once again in punt formation. This time he decides to punt. Speedy Duncan makes the catch at the San Diego 24. The AFL's top punt return specialist looks like he might go all the way until Darrell Lester brings him down on the Denver 39. It's a 37-yard run for Duncan. Now it's 3rd and 1 for San Diego at the Denver 1. The Denver ground defense is held, so John Hadel goes to the air instead. Rookie Gary Garrison makes the catch in the flat for a touchdown. The Chargers even the score at 14-14. In the third quarter, Scarpetto goes back to punt again. Again, scraps season opening and decides to run. This time he gains just 10 yards, but it's enough for another Denver first down. John McCormick is now at the controls with the ball on the Chargers' 42. McCormick goes to the air. Far downfield, rookie Eric Crabtree grabs the pass on the Chargers' 4-yard line. It's a 38-yard play for the Broncos. The Broncos don't score, but keep the pressure on in the fourth quarter. Again, John McCormick takes to the air. San Diego's Dick Deegan deflects the pass, but ever-alert Lionel Taylor makes the catch anyway. It's a 22-yard gain to San Diego's 19. But the drive stalls, so on 4th down and 4 minutes to play, the Broncos go into field goal formation. It's a fake effort. Instead of the kick, John McCormick passes to Lonnie Wright. But the Broncos don't get the first down. San Diego takes over and holds and wins a narrow 24-17 decision from the much-improved Broncos. Next on the Broncos schedule is the 2,000-mile trip to New England and a joust with the Boston Patriots on a rainy, mud-spattered field. For the Broncos, road games mean fast, comfortable, luxurious flights with United Airlines. Like 8 of 9 American Football League teams, the Broncos fly United Airlines for their competition from coast to coast. During the transcontinental flight to Boston, Bob Richardson, John Griffin, and Jerry Sturm are among the Bronco players enjoying a delicious steak dinner. After the flight has reached Boston, United Sports representative Bill Haney pauses to talk over the trip with Bronco chairman of the board Jerry Phipps and his wife Janet. Rookie quarterback Max Sheboygan plays in the mud for the first time, wins AFL Player of the Week honors. Al Denson makes a spectacular game-winning catch and run with just 2 seconds to play. Linebacker Gene Jeter faces a never-better Denver defense. Early in the game, the Patriots threaten on the Denver 24. Babe Parilli slashes back to pass. Rookie Bill Keating hits him hard. Parilli loses the ball, and Danny LaRose picks it up for the Broncos. The Patriots threaten again, but Parilli fumbles the wet ball again, this time on the snap from center. Max Lietzo pounces on the ball for the Broncos. But it's slippery going for both teams, and this Denver fumble proves costly. Boston tackle Jim Hunt hits Darrell Lester at the Bronco 5. Lester fumbles, and Hunt recovers in the end zone. It's a touchdown for Boston, and the Patriots lead 7-0. Boston still leads 7-3 in third quarter. Deep in his own territory, Babe Parilli passes to Larry Guerin. But Gene Jeter makes a crushing tackle, and Guerin fumbles. Jeter makes the recovery, and the Broncos have a first down on the Boston 22. On first down, Larry Kaminsky and Jerry Sturm open a big hole. Darrell Lester runs hard, picks up 8 yards to the Patriots' 14. Now it's third down on the Boston 5. Max Sheboygan rolls out to his right, finally decides to pass. Darrell Lester has the ball in the end zone. It's a Denver touchdown. Croner converts, and the Broncos lead 10-7. Boston ties the score 10-10 as the fourth quarter begins. The Broncos' vicious defense continues to keep the Patriots off balance. This time, Bill Keating and Danny LaRose break through to throw Parilli for a 9-yard loss. But with time running out, the Patriots finally get a drive started. Babe Parilli passes. Gino Cappelletti makes the catch. Bob Richardson and Lonnie Wright make the stop. But it's a 16-yard gain and first down for the Patriots. With just 16 seconds to play, Gino Cappelletti tries what is expected to be a winning Patriot field goal. But the kick sails off to the left. It's no good. The Broncos apparently have preserved a 10-10 tie with the favored Patriots. But Max Sheboygan has other ideas. On first down from the Denver 20, Sheboygan passes over the middle to Abner Haynes. Abner gets a mud bath, but it's a first down at the Denver 35. There are just 11 seconds to play. Time for one more play. Sheboygan again goes to the air. The pass is a long one. Number 34 of Boston, Chuck Shanta, deflects the ball. But suddenly, Al Denson has it for the Broncos. He's all alone and in the end zone on a winning 65-yard touchdown play. The Broncos win 17-10, and the loss eventually cost the Patriots the Eastern Division Championship. It's a happy trip home for the resurging Broncos. Now the Broncos come home for a final 3-game homestand. The Oakland Raiders, a longtime nemesis, are the hottest club in the league in October and November. A history-making defensive struggle ensues, but Oakland scores a hard-earned 17-3 victory. Rookie Bill Keating leads the defense that holds Oakland to just 160 yards total offense. Former basketball star Lonnie Wright continues his fine late-season defensive play. Co-captain Goose Gonsolin is a tower of strength throughout his 7th AFL season. The game is a scoreless tie early in the second quarter when Tom Eischeid punts for Oakland. Abner Haynes is the Denver receiver at the Broncos' 28-yard line. Rookies Lou Scott and Ron Sabranti pave the way with clearing blocks, and Haynes scoots 51 yards all the way to the Oakland 21. A penalty sets the Broncos back, and the Raiders hold their ground, so Gary Croner tries a field goal from the Oakland 45. The kick is good, and the Broncos lead 3-0. But defense is the order of the day, as the Broncos demonstrate here. Back on the Oakland 21, Tom Flores tries the pass, but Goose Gonsolin, Bill Keating, and Max Lietzo snow him under. It's an 8-yard loss. On the very next play, Flores calls for the pass again. This time, Max Lietzo hits him at the Oakland 3. An apparent fumble leads to an apparent Denver touchdown, but the ruling is an incomplete Oakland pass instead, and the Raiders retain possession. The partisan Bronco crowd roars its disapproval. Finally, the Raiders break the Denver resistance with a long pass. Tom Flores gets the ball away. Billy Cannon is tightly guarded but makes a fine catch. Nehemiah Wilson brings him down after a 58-yard gain all the way to the Denver 19. On second down, Tom Flores passes again. This time, it's all-league split end Art Powell in the end zone, making the catch for the touchdown. The Raiders lead 7-3. The Broncos try to keep their offense moving in the third period. Bob Breitenstein and Lee Burnett set up the interference, and Abner Haynes races around left end. It's a 20-yard gain for the Broncos. But all too often for the Broncos, the Oakland defense shows its power. John McCormick is the Denver passer, but the Oakland blitz pays off. Ex-Bronco Isaac Lassiter brings McCormick down for an 11-yard loss. The Bronco defense is just as tough. Here, Hewlett Dixon tries the left side, but before he can get started, Bill Keating is through like a cat to make the stop. Gonsolin and Lietzo finish him off. Oakland threatens again with just over a minute to play. The Raiders are at the Denver 5. Tom Flores passes, but Lonnie Wright leaps in front of Art Powell to save a touchdown. So the Raiders turn to the field goal, and Mike Eischeid makes it good. The two teams together account for only 262 yards total offense, another Denver club record. The Raiders win the vicious struggle, 17-3. The Broncos are primed to upset the Chargers, a team they haven't beaten since October 1963. The press corps is on hand early to see the fireworks. On-the-scene coverage by Denver Post and Rocky Mountain News writers and by station KTLN is provided for all Bronco games, home and away. Nehemiah Wilson has to cover Lance Allworth, but the little cornerback is a defensive hero. John Bramlett blocks a field goal to pave the way for a Denver victory. Wendell Hayes races 56 yards for the game's winning touchdown in the closing minutes of play. Early in the game, Bronco Bob Scarpetto punts from the San Diego 49. Lou Scott, Glenn Glass, and Jason Francie converge on the Chargers receiver, and Speedy Duncan fails to make the catch. Scott recovers for an apparent touchdown. The official ruling is that the ball is muffed, not fumbled, and the Broncos have possession on the San Diego 4. The Chargers hold, however, so Gary Kroner kicks a field goal on fourth down from the San Diego 10. The Broncos take a 3-0 lead, which still stands at halftime. It's Denver's ball in the third quarter. Jerry Stern, Bob Breitenstein, and John Gonzaga give Max Sheboygan time to get the pass away. Al Denson has the pass for 25 yards and a first down on the San Diego 40. On the next play, Charlie Mitchell hits the line, bounces off a tackler, and then scoots around left end for 12 yards and another first down at the San Diego 28. The drive stalls, so from the 17, Gary Kroner kicks his second field goal. The Broncos lead 6-3 with 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Now the Chargers begin to move. Ball low hits Jack McKinnon on the west sideline, and McKinnon rambles for 25 yards all the way to the Denver 32 before Jerry Hopkins can get him from behind. On the first play of the fourth quarter, from the Denver 27, Hadel passes. Lance Allworth makes a leaping catch at the 2-yard line, then stumbles into the end zone for a touchdown. The Chargers lead for the first time, 10-6. Now the Chargers threaten again. Dick Van Raphorst is ready for the field goal from the Broncos 22. But John Bramlett leapfrogs the line, blocks the kick, then grabs the ball and races 78 yards for a Denver touchdown. There are 7 minutes to play, and the Broncos lead again, 13-10. Fight back. From his own 25-yard line, John Hadel passes. Gary Garrison makes a leaping catch at the 38. It's a 13-yard gain and a first down. Now it's fourth down on the Denver 44. The Chargers must have a first down. Hadel passes to Allworth, but at the last instant, Nehemiah Wilson makes a great leaping deflection. The Chargers have been stuck. On the very next play, Wendell Hayes finds a hole up the middle. He breaks quickly into the open. Now it's Bob Scarpetto coming up from nowhere to clear out the last defender. It's a 56-yard touchdown run, and the Broncos lead 20-10 with 2:24 to play. San Diego scores again and tries an onside kick with time running out. But Abner Haynes grabs the ball for the Broncos to preserve a coveted 2017 upset victory. The Chargers are eliminated from the Western Division Championship race. The season's largest crowd, 33,306, turns out for the final home game. Susan K. Hawkins, later to be named Miss AFL, is introduced for the first time as the new Miss Denver Bronco. Kim and Lori Thomas of the Struckers Strutters twirling team entertained before the game. Number 66, Larry Cox, turns in a stirring defensive performance with plays like this. First, he stops Cookie Gilchrist for a short gain. Then he joins Danny LaRose in blitzing quarterback Dick Wood. Charlie Mitchell with a long touchdown scamper is Denver's offensive star. Offensive tackle Lee Burnett turns in a sterling game for the Broncos. Signs are plentiful with the Bronco fans. This one reads, "Old Broncos never die, they just go to Miami." 8 ex-Broncos are on the Miami roster. The Broncos are leading 3-0 midway in the second quarter, and they have the ball. Max Sheboyan passes, but ex-Bronco Tom Erlinson steps in front of Al Denson at the Miami 26 and intercepts. Erlinson returns for a touchdown, and Miami leads 7-3. Disaster almost strikes again on the very next scrimmage play. Sheboyan passes again. This time it's ex-Bronco Wahoo McDaniel who intercepts. McDaniel laterals to Jim Warren, who races across the field toward the Denver goal. Now watch the ensuing action. Warren fumbles as Al Denson hits him. Erlinson picks up the ball, but fumbles when Sheboyan hits him. Lee Burnett recovers for the Broncos on the Denver 7. Now the Broncos start a 93-yard touchdown drive. The Denver 22, Max Sheboyan passes to Lionel Taylor, who makes a fine catch, then shows great second effort as he races 32 yards into Miami territory. This time, Sheboyan calls for a short behind-the-line pass to Charlie Mitchell. Bob Breitenstein clears the way, and Mitchell runs, then cuts back for 20 yards to the Miami 27. Now it's first down on the Miami 1. Max Sheboyan misses the handoff, but quickly turns into the hole that has been cleared and scores anyway. Denver goes ahead to stay 10-7. Halftime finds ex-Bronco fullback Cookie Gilchrist drawing out the winning number for the lucky fan who will get to drive away the Cadillac Cookie drove when he was a Bronco. Early in the third quarter, the Broncos have the ball on their own 21. Sheboyan gets good pass protection from Pat Matson. Now he throws to Charlie Mitchell. Lee Burnett clears the way with a smashing block on the sidelines. Suddenly, Mitchell is in the open and on his way to a 79-yard touchdown gallop. The Broncos lead 17-7. Unusual series of downs late in the game. Miami has a first down on the Denver 4. Quarterback John Stopa wants to pass, but John Bramlett puts on the blitz. Stopa loses 7. Now it's second down 11. An incomplete pass and a penalty make it 3rd and 27. Stopa tries to pass again. Again, Bramlett throws him for a long loss. Now watch number 30 of Miami, Sam Price, take exception to Gene Jeter's rush for the Broncos. The Dolphins lose 15 more yards on the penalty. Now it's an unbelievable 3rd down and 58 to go. But on the next play, Stopa gets rid of the ball ahead of Bramlett's blitz. Bo Roberson is the receiver, and he races 23 yards to the Denver 35. Face mask penalty puts the ball on the Denver 20, gives the Dolphins a first down. A pass puts the ball on the Denver 7. On second down, Stopa passes to Doug Moreau, who makes the catch for a near touchdown on the Denver 1. It's 3rd down and less than a yard to go. Ex-Bronco Billy Joe hits the right side of the line, but Ray Jacobs and Lonnie Wright stop him cold. It's 4th down coming up and still goal to go. Now it's Joe Auer at the middle, but the Denver defense holds again. The ball has moved 111 yards back and forth on the field, but the Dolphins are just 3 yards ahead of their starting point on the Denver 4. As the clock slowly ticks away the 1966 home season, the Broncos have a get-even 17-7 victory over the Dolphins, all wrapped up. After the final gun, happy fans race onto the field to show their appreciation to their Broncos for their strong late-season effort. The Buffalo Bills can win their 3rd straight Eastern Division title by winning on the season's final day. The Broncos go all out for an upset, but Buffalo prevails 38-21. Jerry Sturm is once again a mainstay in the Broncos' offensive line. Linebacker Jerry Hopkins enjoys his best season as a Bronco in 1966. Larry Kaminsky blossoms into one of the league's top centers during his rookie season. The Broncos open with an onside kick that just barely misses going the necessary distance, so they kick off long to Charlie Warner at the Buffalo 7. Warner gets a 42-yard return all the way to the Buffalo 49 before Mike Kellogg and Goldie Sellers bring him down. A few plays later, fullback Ray Carlton blasts straight up the middle for 6 yards and a touchdown for the Bills. Buffalo leads 7-0. Buffalo is ahead 17-0 late in the second quarter when the Broncos take to the air. John McCormick, who has replaced rookie starter Scotty Glacken, fires far downfield. Bob Scarpetto makes the catch, eludes a defender, and scores. It's a 62-yard play for Denver. Buffalo leads 17-7. Just moments before the halftime gun, Buffalo scores again. Jackie Kemp neatly eludes a strong Denver rush, gets the ball away under fire to Bobby Crockett, who races for the touchdown. 38-yard gain gives Buffalo a 24-7 halftime lead. Denver's resistance stiffens in the second half. Buffalo is threatening at the Denver 28, and Kemp calls for the pass. But Ray Jacobs and Max Lietzo break through to smother Kemp for a 12-yard loss. On the next play, Kemp goes right back to the pass talk. This time, it's rookie Larry Cox nailing Kemp for a 9-yard loss. Now the Broncos put on a stirring rally in the fourth period. Denver 20, John McCormick passes to Abner Haynes. The play is good for 51 yards deep into Buffalo territory. During the game, McCormick piles up 328 yards by passing, a new personal high for McCormick. McCormick comes right back with another pass. This time, it's his favorite target of the day, flanker Bob Scarpetto, making the catch on a 29-yard touchdown play. Scarpetto scores 20 points with 3 touchdown catches and a 2-point conversion pass. The Broncos go for the onside kick again, and this time the strategy works. Rookie Eric Crabtree makes the recovery for the Broncos at the Buffalo 49. Now from the Buffalo 11, McCormick calls for Scarpetto over the middle on a post pattern, and the popular former Notre Dame ace has it for the season's final touchdown. Buffalo wins 38-21. You've just seen the on-the-field highlights of 1966. There were other big events, too. None was more significant than the signing of Notre Dame's All-America defensive ace, Pete Duranko, after a spirited bidding war with the Cleveland Browns. Duranko is number 64 in these shots of Notre Dame action in the 1966 season. Duranko's signing and the promises of outstanding new talent from football's first common draft assures the Broncos of another high-quality crop of rookies in 1967. The combination of newcomers and veteran talent will give the Broncos a hustling, crowd-pleasing team in the new season. But no resume of the 1966 season could possibly be complete or even appropriate without lavish mention of the fans who supported their Broncos so well. Whether they sat in the north, south, east, or west stands, Denver Broncos fans cemented their claim to being the world's most rabid and loyal professional football fans, and in so doing won the admiration of veteran observers in every corner of the nation. There will be an extra bonus for Bronco fans in 1967, the long-awaited preseason game for the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings in Colorado in August. Already, Bronco fans have indicated their interest in the coming season will be even stronger than before. Why not make yourself a part of this happy family by purchasing season tickets? The Bronco ticket office is open daily to serve your ticket needs. Call 433-7466 for complete information. 1967 should be the biggest year ever for the Broncos. Be sure you are on hand for every exciting game.